Hello. For this demonstration, we're going to show how we can import data that's in PDF form that looks like this. Okay. And we're going to use Audit to do it. So here's what we do. We'll go and use Report Import. Select our first PDF. And then we can identify a detail line and grab details using these selectors. I can double click to differentiate between the different fields. I can add a column header line, and again we double click to differentiate between the different column headers. This allows us to load column headers that exist in the data without having to type them. We can grab header lines, which are lines that exist above the detail lines in general. We can add as many header lines as we would like. Here we're going to snag these based on the EFF that starts at the beginning. Okay, once we've done that, you can see we're able to switch back and forth and edit the different header lines. Footer lines are the ones that normally occur below the detail lines. We don't have any in this case, so we'll click Finish. This is text import. This is what you see when you import a text file, and it allows you to go through here and see the data and preview it. We would like to call header 1 the account. We don't want to import the header 2 or the header 3, and the effective date, which is this one over here, we want to be able to make that into a date. And we'll make that MDY, and we do not want to import the other. We'll save a template to do our second file. And once we've done that, then we can go to Import Wizard again, browse for the file, and choose the template. Templates can bring in one file, multiple files from a folder, all files from a folder. And do this for text, Excel, or reports. As you can see here. Now once we have the data, then what we can do is we can append the data together. This is robust to differences in column data types. Same name, different type, it will still append the data and give you a good correct append of the data. So you can see here, then what we can do is do column management. This is where we can add and delete columns. And what we can also make changes to existing columns. These dates here came in as text, so we're going to make those dates. So we'll have our inner date, which will make a date time, and our date column that we also want to make a date time. Once we do that, click OK, and it will automatically figure out how to convert the dates. Then what we can do is we could run a filter. And we can also double click in column management like we just did here to bring up the criteria editor in the criteria section. We have all kinds of Excel functions here, and we're going to use Network Days International to get the number of business days between the date and the inner date. Once we do that, we'll be able to see who's overdue. Oops. So we'll go back here and say, hey, give me all the ones greater than 120. 120 business days overdue. All right. So we could see here that we had 20 overdue. Let's say we didn't like that. We wanted to do it over. So we get a project do over, and I want to make this 200 instead of 120. And now you can see that it has now shortened our list to those that are more than 200 business days apart. Okay. Other things that we can do, well, we can look at doing, we could look at this transaction data. and we could look to see about doing fuzzy join between these two data sets, the first and the second. And we can do all kinds of different exact match joins with key columns. We can do many to many, many to one, one to many, one to one. We can do all the different possible combinations of doing it, as well as fuzzy. And we can do transaction data and say, hey, let's give it all the non-exact matches greater than 90% alike in Levenshtein distance similarity. And we'll call this our fuzzy join. It's saying here that it's doing all of the combinations since we didn't select a left or right key column for exactness in the join. Once that is done, you can see we have the various percentage similarities that we have between this transaction data here and this transaction data over here. We can make the screen a little wider if we wanted to be able to see a little bit more of the data. Okay. Also, what we can do is we can sort the data. So we can do as many columns as we want. We can do them ascending or descending, however we like. We can also summarize the data. So we can summarize by say date and amount with these kinds of statistics. We can do duplicates. So we could do all different kinds. We can do just unique records returned to us, deduplicate, keep first and last, the regular exact duplicates, duplicates where we have duplicate columns that are the same, but we have different columns that should be different, that kind of thing. And then we can also do things like fuzzy duplicates, and where we can do character type columns and choose, say, transaction data within where we have items above a threshold. Finally, we can do sampling from the data. So we can do attribute planning and extraction. This is where we can say give me a test and get a sample, extract that sample, and it'll give us documentation on the sample so that we know all the things that were done. This is good documentation that you can then export to Excel or text, usually Excel, and be able to document your work. Finally, what we can do also is you could say, well, I can get audit trail by right-clicking on any of these. This tells me, for example, that altogether, all the things that you saw that we did, we appended these two data sets together to get it, and we also did these machinations in order to get the dates right for this file. So that concludes what I wanted to show. The other thing is, for your consideration, is it's not only easy to use, it's easy to script. This is a script for how we do ADA. This is how we script an append. This is how we script a join. This is how we add two columns. And this is how we do duplicates. And this is how we employ a filter. So you can see that it's fairly quick and easy to be able to do these things, and that scripting environment can be downloaded and implemented through an Anaconda distribution, which of course is free and allows you to employ all the NumPy, SciPy, scikit-learn, pandas, and all kinds of other data scientist materials to do this kind of work. So with that being said, thank you very much for your time. Please contact us.